Rosie moved toward Liv with a tentative smile. There was a quiet eagerness in the way she approached, a need to establish some sort of connection. Liv, however, remained reserved, offering only a polite acknowledgement while clearly unsure of who Rosie was or why she seemed so intent on speaking with her. Still, Rosie pressed forward, her enthusiasm muted but sincere, ready to continue the conversation. Liv handed Rosie her calling card. Liv's expression shifted. A subtle alertness replaced her polite distance. She glanced toward the entrance of the house just as the atmosphere in the room changed. The heavy, unmistakable presence of the security branch, the secret police, entered like a sudden storm. A plainclothed officer stepped inside, his posture rigid, his voice erupting through the room in a sharp, commanding roar. Conversations died mid-sentence. Jocko reacted instantly, positioning himself between the officers and his wife. They justified their intrusion with the thin authority of apartheid regulations, invoking laws about mixed gatherings and the suspicion of alcohol as their excuse to search. Their leader referenced their supposed mission, locating the writer Alan Paton, who they believed had been present earlier. The tension held until the officers realized their quarry was gone. Frustration flashed across the officer's face before he ordered his men to withdraw. As abruptly as they had arrived, they left. Liv and Rosie share an intimate evening charged with unspoken attraction. Liv restrains herself from expressing how radiant Rosie looks, offering instead measured praise for her reading, though emotion slips through. Rosie responds with unexpected honesty, admitting that Liv inspires her and that Liv's presence feels luminous and grounding. The mutual vulnerability overwhelms them. In a quiet, impulsive moment, Rosie kisses Liv. Liv initially hesitates, then fully returns the kiss. When they part, both are shaken, quickly retreating into apologies and denial of intent. Their moment is abruptly interrupted by a young policeman who reprimands them for their public behavior. Liv calmly challenges his authority, and after a tense pause, he backs down and lets them go. Aware of onlookers, Liv drives Rosie to a discreet entrance. There, Rosie reassures Liv that she isn't troubled by what happened. She confesses that being with Liv awakens a deep, generous love and a desire to ease Liv's sadness. She asks to see Liv again. Liv, conflicted and burdened by unseen complications, admits she wants the same but warns Rosie not to call, hinting that contact may no longer be safe. Late on the night of May 4th, several hours after Liv had fallen asleep, a wardress arrived at her cell and ordered her to dress. Still groggy, Liv followed as they passed through a succession of barred doors, each one unlocked and then slammed shut behind them. A lift carried them deep into the fort. At the final door, the wardress stopped and left Liv to enter the interrogation room. Inside, two men waited. One sat neatly at a wooden table, well-dressed and composed. The other lingered in the shadows of the room, slouched and watchful, his presence heavy with hostility. Liv quickly took in her surroundings. The room was windowless, larger than her cell but no less oppressive. A bare bulb hung low over the table, casting a harsh light over cracked walls and a worn linoleum floor. The air was cold, damp, and stale, and a small heater offered little relief. Claustrophobia tightened in her chest. The questioning unfolded methodically, moving through her associations, her home, and the political figures she knew. Liv answered carefully and truthfully, conscious that inconsistency could be used against her. At moments, the tension escalated sharply, marked by sudden movement and raw intimidation, before settling again into controlled restraint. The pattern was unmistakable, rehearsed and deliberate. When the interrogation finally ended, Liv was escorted back to her cell. Exhausted, she fell into an uneasy sleep and later woke to the silence of the prison before dawn. Half awake, memories and voices crowded her thoughts, faces from her past, ideals she believed in, and the question that echoed again and again, why she had chosen this path. Curled on the narrow cot, Liv searched for answers. She was driven by justice and a refusal to live comfortably on others' pain. Prison she had foreseen, the erosion of her sanity, she had not.
Dearest Liv, my heart breaks for what they have done to you, for the pain that reshaped you. You are wounded, yet you endure. Your aunt told me what your child witnessed. Knowing this only deepens my love for you. If you cannot bear me now, I understand. I will not write again if my words bring you sorrow. But I know we will be together one day. If I could hold you, I believe I could ease your soul. I will wait for you, my darling Liv.
Liv reads the letter twice, stunned that such love could exist. More astonishing still, that it was meant for her. She shudders at the thought of what might have happened had the wrong eyes seen these words. Rose's letters are open, unguarded. It never occurs to her that love like this could be dangerous. Liv writes back to Rosie while sitting in the garden.
Darling Rosie, your letters leave me no path toward you. They fill me with shame that I ever drew you into my life. You are too good, too open-hearted, for someone like me.
The 26th of June, 1960. Liv continues to write to Rosie.
Dearest Rosie, I continue to read your letters. Every word carries such love that it overwhelms me. I will keep them always. A kind wardress saved them for me and returned them upon my release. I knew they were yours at once. What we shared physically was extraordinary, unexpected, beautiful. You awakened parts of me I thought long buried. But prison made one truth unmistakably clear. My heart belongs to a man, and has for many years, whether I ever see him again or not. When we began, on that rainy January night at Alan Patton's talk, I chose you freely. I am ashamed of how abruptly I ended things. I panicked, as I once did before, with consequences I still carry. You deserve a life unburdened by my fractures. I do not regret us, but I cannot live in two truths at once. One day, when this cruelty ends and I am free to travel, I hope we may meet again. A part of me will always be with you. With love, always. Liv.
In 1994, South Africa entered a new era after an unprecedented election brought Nelson Mandela's African National Congress into power, establishing the country's first democratic government. That summer, Liv received an invitation from the Office of the President to attend the inauguration events in Pretoria. During the inaugural dinner, Liv is met with an outpouring of goodwill from guests of every background. As the evening draws to a close, two elderly men, one black, one white, approach Liv and her husband, Paul. Liv immediately recognizes Daniel, a friend from the past, and embraces him warmly. His companion is Trevor Lewis, a figure from the past whose involvement in the Babin escape and subsequent interrogation carries lasting weight. Soon after, Trevor takes his leave. A dignified older woman dressed in traditional Corsa regalia joins Daniel, whom he introduces as his wife. After a brief exchange of courtesies, the couple is drawn away by other guests.